This article was submitted by Patreon supporter Ernestine Wolf. Ernestine, thank you so much. You've been a supporter for quite a while, and I very much appreciate it. The article is in The Guardian, and it's really about they've been finding microplastic fibers in bottled water. So what Ernestine's email to me was, corporations are making an obscene profit bottling and selling public water to the public, yet most people find this unremarkable and keep buying their products. Maybe this will change their minds. So I'm going to read you a little bit from this. So it's a study that came out by the World Health Organization, and it's pretty alarming. And it's, you know, bottled water is pretty gnarly on a lot of levels. Unrecycled bottles, you could cover the earth with the amount of bottles that don't get recycled. Let me just read you the statistics here that came out from this WHO study, and then we'll go and we'll talk a little more about it. Microplastics are found in 90% of bottled water, which is twice as high as that found in tap water. But don't worry, human beings, we don't need drinkable water to survive or breathable air. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it. The World Health Organization has announced a review into the potential risks of plastic in drinking water after a new analysis of some of the world's most popular bottled water brands found that 90% contain tiny pieces of plastic. A previous study also found high levels of microplastics in tap water. In the new study, analysis of 259 bottles from 19 locations in 9 countries across 11 different brands found an average of 325 plastic particles for every liter of water being sold. In one bottle of Nestle Pure Life, concentrations were as high as 10,000 plastic pieces per liter of water. Of the 259 bottles tested, only 17 were free of plastics. Ugh. Scientists based at the State University of New York in Fredonia were commissioned by Journalism Project Orb Media to analyze the bottled water. The scientists wrote that they had found roughly twice as many plastic particles within bottled water compared to their previous study of tap water reported by The Guardian. According to the new study, the most common type of plastic found was polypropylene, the same type of plastic used to make the bottle caps. The bottles analyzed were bought in the US, China, Brazil, India, Indonesia, Mexico, Lebanon, Kenya, and Thailand. Scientists used Nile red dye to fluorescence particles in the water. The dye tends to stick to the surface of plastics, but not most natural materials. This is, oh man. So the article goes on to say that the World Health Organization has not, that there is not any evidence on the impacts on human health. But there's going to be. If everyone's drinking all this bottled water, it's... yeah, and a second unrelated analysis, also just released, was commissioned by campaign group Story of Stuff and examined 19 consumer bottled water brands in the U.S. It also found plastic microfibers were widespread. The brand Boxed Water contained an average of 58.6 plastic fibers per liter. Ozarka and Ice Mountain, both owned by Nestle, had concentrations at 15 and 11 pieces per liter. Respectively, Fiji Water had 12 plastic fibers per liter. So one of the things I started doing a long time ago was I got a pure filter on my faucet. And then I cycle a lot, so I just take a cycle bottle and I fill that with water and I take that throughout my day. Where I use bottled water is like I'm on a podcast and you want some water and they give you bottled water and they don't have filtered water or whatever. And also, admittedly, at the FNX Comedy Experience, we have a green room and we have snacks and food back there for the comedians and the crew, because the crew's there everyone's there a long time, so you gotta have food around. We have sodas, we have bottled water. And I wish I didn't have to buy, I gotta provide people water. I wish I had control to buy, it's in a theater, which they're letting us use it. But what I would prefer to do, because I remember when the Sarah Silverman program, Sarah Silverman had that show on Comedy Central. And I was on a couple episodes, and she gave everybody like one of those Nagleen, or however you pronounce it, plastic bottle, like one that reusable, with the show logo on it. And everyone got that, and then there was like a big water container thing, and you got your water from that. And that was like, wow. So, if there's a second season of the FNX show, I really want to do that, because I don't like buying bottled water. And whenever I'm given a bottled water, like when I'm on a show or something, I always recycle that. I always recycle everything. But this is a great piece of news to motivate me personally to even eliminate bottled water entirely from my life, because I don't want to drink fucking plastic. And it's one of those things, we talk about voting with our dollars. So if a show that I'm directing and producing is buying bottled water, I don't like, I gotta buy Coke, and it's like, how do I can't feed a crew of people if I don't know how to get around some of this big corporate stuff sometimes. I don't know how to get around. Like, I'm out in San Bernardino, and if I go to like Trader Joe's and buy hippie sodas, I'm going to triple the food budget. We don't have a lot of money. And then a lot of people are going to be like, Graham, I want to drink a Coke. Why are you making me drink your hippie? I don't want your Hanson's grapefruit. So it's a dilemma that I have, and I want to find a solution for it, because I don't want to be contributing to this. But in my daily life, I almost never buy bottled water. Almost never. If I go to the movies, I bring a bottle and I fill it up at the drinking fountain. You can get, reusable bottles that have filters in them if you're worried about the water from a fountain or a tap. So, and again, when I do buy it, I try to recycle everything. So I know Ernestine Wolf didn't send me this article to hear me go try to, talk about my own bottled water habits, but it's information we all need to have. And when I'm confronted with information like this, I'm glad I got it, even if it's like, oh man, because it motivates me to find a solution in my personal and professional life, to where, because drinking this bottled water obviously isn't healthy for it. There's no way drinking microfibers of plastic is good for the human body. There's no way. So, yeah. I appreciate this information, and it's something we should all read the entire article and get the information for yourself and figure out how you can not use bottled water at work, school, in your personal life. In the comments section, tell me what you do. Maybe you're like, oh, Graham, I got a great solution. Here's what I use, or here's how I do it for my work. I have to, I'd love to hear it. And if this study makes you change some habits, like I'm a big fan of progress, not perfection. 2 steps forward and 1 step back is still 1 step forward. I tell myself that, so I don't beat myself up. Because Coca-Cola told the BBC it had strict filtration methods, but acknowledged the ubiquity of plastics in the environment meant plastic fibers may be found at minute levels, even in highly treated products. Yeah, and I'm sure Coca-Cola and Nestle are going to release a study saying plastic in the human body is actually good. It's fiber. It's like a probiotic. Listen to these liars. Thank you so much, Ernestine Wolf, for submitting this article, and thank you all of you for coming to this channel and listening to me talk and even deliberate out loud in my own life how to do things in a better way. And I welcome any of your comments or thoughts.